an important
Just to
factor.
interject real quick. When you say a couple other things, you mean other evidence that was admitted at trial and considered by the jury during the criminal trial, right?
Yes. Yes.
Right, like bullet fragments pulled from her feet, right? At surgery.
Some
Objection at the form.
say again.
Okay, let's try the question again. She just objected to form. That's okay. You can still answer, but I'll repeat the question.
Another form is that it's assuming facts, not in evidence.
Okay, that's not an objection during a deposition, but okay. One of the forms of evidence.
By the way, that's Milagro's lawyer. So Milagro lawyer sits through all depositions because her client, this is a fact-finding situation, and anything I say, whether to help her or hurt her, she wants to be able to at least object that maybe some questions are inappropriate or she's leading or whatever. So that's why that's Milagro lawyer talking in the background.
Was metallic fragments that were pulled from Miss Pete's feet after surgery that was admitted into trial, right?
Yes. Are we? I mean, I could broadly lay out why I feel that way, unless you're trying to get me to agree or disagree with each single point. The point of, and I'll sum it up for you. I'm gonna think someone is a liar when they get pulled over by the police and they tell the police I stepped on glass, and it doesn't come out later until you're mad. And I like to stay out of people's, I used to call it dick and pussy business. That's how I, colloquially refer to these things. When people get mad and they're in their feelings because they're having sex and they're in what's really a relationship that might be domestic or, however turbulent in nature, I like to stay out of those things because people's objectives change over time. So if I was supposed to believe this person who ends up being the star witness, when she first gets pulled over, she stepped on glass. If I was supposed to believe her in trial, when she now hates this guy, and we all know, and again, I'm saying we all know, but I'm saying it from just a societal perspective. Listen, there's no girlfriend that's going to have a bad breakup with you and then go say, this guy is the best guy ever. Stories are always going to change, perspective change. Then she says, no, he shot me. So again, I'm going off of those things, and I like to believe women. So when she tells me one thing and then she tells me another, I don't know what to believe, right? And to me, that's doubt already. That's doubt.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this question. At the end of every trial day, did you download the trend?
Belt to ass! This is Rock Nation's finest. This is what they got going on over there with Meg Thee Stallion. Yo, these lawyers just got three little letters at the end of their name saying they passed the bar. They talking dumb shit. Really, they doing it for the check. You know what's crazy? I guarantee even this girl right here, this lady, she probably a decent young lady. This is her gig. She got to do it to go get her money. I don't know if she has kids or she definitely probably has a family. Bro, they don't give a fuck, bro. If me and her was at a bar and I had nothing to do with the case or whatever, she'd probably tell me, I don't give a fuck about this Meg Thee Stallion shit. I'm just over there getting my bread. But I got to argue, that's my job. These lawyers don't believe what they're saying, bro. They're saying what they think. They're saying what they're paid to say. That's my client. Let me just try to wrap you around in legalese that you're going to look stupid. Now, she tried it with me for 7 hours. And chat, I'm going to let it play. I'm not cutting it right now because this is raw conversation. We got about 18 more minutes of this. This is Tory and Meg shit. We're straight talking about it. And if you in chat, y'all gonna be able to tell me, this lawyer really gave you belt to ass. But I think it's the opposite. Y'all are trying to get me on the record to say that I was just capping on my streams and in the media and I don't believe it. And I sat there and told you, this chick is a liar. She is a liar yesterday, today, and I think she'll lie tomorrow. And I don't believe her. And this is why I have all the doubts about the particular case. She tried to sidestep me. Classic debate tactic. Well, the jury, they were there and they said this. Do you accept the verdict? That's basically saying, do you accept the jury's opinion? Of course I accept the verdict because I'm a law-abiding citizen of the United States of America and we deal with law and justice. We, of course, are going to accept that. We're not going to do it January 6th. We're not going to fucking go break Tory out of the jail. However, it doesn't mean I have to accept that they made the right decision. That's the point. She was heated. It's like the Rock Nation Meg Thee Stallion propaganda. I thought y'all were here to find facts out, not to question me and try to change my mind. but let it go.
Scripts of the trial proceedings for that day and review them
Not every day.
before you posted.
By the way, chat, I'm still on chill mode. Right now, I'm on zone 2. I'm in gear 2. I ain't even really amp it up because I ain't think this chick was really trying me. I'm like, come on, I do this for a living. You a junior associate or whatever over there. They ain't even send Alex Spiro. If they send Alex Spiro, and I do mention him in this thing, if they send Alex Spiro, I knew they sent the big dog. They ain't send the big dog. They sent the pup. They sent the pup to spar with. You can't send the pup. Y'all sent the pup? Come on, man.
Before you streamed about them?
Not every day. That trial, we relied on numerous people giving their in trial assessment of what was being presented, entered into evidence, and also all the testimony that was given in that day.
Okay. So you relied on somebody who was present in the courtroom to relay their opinions about what was presented in the courtroom to form your own opinions about what happened at the trial, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you personally were not present in the courtroom during the course of the criminal trial, right?
I was not.
Okay. And you didn't even go to a single day of the trial in person, correct?
No.
Okay. And you understand that after the trial, a jury came to a verdict, right?
I mean, that's how trials go. The verdicts is usually...
Right. And in this case, a jury did come to a verdict, correct?
Yeah. Yes, they did. They did. They convicted him. I still...
That's
disagree.
right. And they came to that they came to that conclusion unanimously, right?
Yes. And I still disagree.
Okay. But unanimity means that all 12 juror members signed on to the same verdict, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And that was after those 12 juror members heard all of the evidence that was admitted in the trial, correct?
Yes.
So after hearing, just so that we're on the same page,
Yeah.
after hearing all of the evidence, all 12 individual members of the jury agreed that the prosecution had proved beyond a reasonable doubt that Tory Lanez shot Megan Thee Stallion on June 12th, 2020, right?
So I've never argued what the...
Alan, it's a yes or no question.
Yes, I've never, but it's a non sequitur because I've never said
It's
that.
not a non sequitur, Mr. Allen. It's
No,
a question.
Is a non sequitur because just starting from what I said what I believed. You're telling me what the jury did. Me and the jury are not the same people. So, for example,
Understood.
OJ
Mr.
did
Allen,
get acquitted of murder, but there are reasonable people who believe he did it. I don't have to accept what the jury said just because it was unanimous and they saw quote unquote all of the testimony. Also, I don't even believe that. That's part of his entire appeal. We have
What's
three
part
drunk
of his
people.
entire appeal? What's part of his entire appeal?
Well, there's evidence and testimony that I think is. Let me lay this out. Meg Thee Stallion is a flat out liar, in my opinion.
What's your basis for saying that she's a flat out liar?
I've seen her say something on Gayle King, and then when it came to being questioned by the prosecutors and being on the stand, she said something different. If that's not a lie, you tell me what it is. Okay, so she was clearly intoxicated that night. I don't think that's a something we have to debate. Kelsey intoxicated that night. Okay, Tory intoxicated that night. The only person that was not intoxicated, the only person I wanted to hear, I don't want to hear from the drunk people. Hey, listen, you see this hand right here? I think my hand is broken. I was drunk. I don't know what happened. The only person that was sober that night was Jaquan, or whatever his name is, Jaquan. He's the person I want to hear. Again, from what I've seen, Tory's team, they definitely fumbled that because they should have had him testify. He didn't testify. But if I'm a person, again, I'm not saying if we didn't accept the jury's decision, we would have went to break him out of jail. And we're talking about we as a collective in terms of the people of the United States. But we accept that a jury, when they do their job, they do their job. So we accept all their decisions. Doesn't mean that we have to agree with the conclusion they came to. I just covered the Young Dolph trial. The guy just got found not guilty yesterday. Everybody who either covered the case or is from that community knows this guy is guilty. But the prosecutor did a bang-up job. That person was acquitted. So, again, no one's saying the jury didn't come to a unanimous decision convicting him. What we're saying is, despite that, we believe that he's being held in jail And maybe I need to define this. When I say unfairly, we don't believe, or I don't believe, that he shot this woman, as the story is presented via how the trial went down. And
what is your basis? So, what I fail to understand is, as somebody who did not sit through the trial, did not hear through all the evidence, what is your basis for your belief that he did not shoot Megan Thee Stallion, although a jury of 12 who heard all the admissible evidence disagrees with you? Okay, Dixon, Rhonda, I need you to wait until I'm done answering my question before you object, so that the court report.
Yo, Milagro, why Rock Nation's lawyers violating your lawyer like that? Yo, my lawyer got a big dog this situation. You gotta bully the scene. You gotta, yo, come on, yo.
I bully the whole scene. I bully the whole scene.
Yo,
I bully the whole scene.
As soon as I got up in this depot, like, I looked up at all these lawyer names. I said,
I bully the whole scene.
I said, yo.
Oh, it's movie time.
Come on.
Could get it down. And number two, I'm just going to ask that you, as is customary in federal court, reserve your objections to the form only that covers every type of substantive objection and reserves them all. Mr. Allen.
But could you just not ask compound questions and just ask one question for one fact so that I can keep up?
Rhonda, I don't believe it was a compound question, but I'll do my best to make sure the record is clear for everybody's sake. How about that?
Thank you.
All right. So, Mr. Allen, what I was asking was, can you explain to me the basis for your belief that Mr. Lanes did not actually shoot Megan Thee Stallion when, in point of fact, a jury of 12 determined that, based on all of the evidence that they heard, that he did?
Ma'am.
Objection as to form.
I'll answer the question, but I feel like we are going in circles. I flat out stated that, again, I could lay out 20 points if you want to just consume and eat up time having me do that. But the initial, this is what lawyers do. They're on the clock. They're on the clock. Chat, let me tell you, I know how lawyers, I just had to send a lawyer $50,000. This was yesterday or 2 days ago. Trust me. It ain't never feel good. And when they send me the invoice, oh, we spent an hour and a half on a phone internally, but it's for your case, so that's $3,000. Huh? What? But that's how it is. So I always tell people about lawyers, bro, all they do is good at wasting time. There are great lawyers, right? And there are great lawyers, but lawyers do realize, because most of them work off of a time clock, they like to just waste time rather than get into the shit. So, for example, this woman has asked me the same question multiple times. I said, yes, I accept that Tory Lanez got found guilty by a jury. I still don't believe he is actually guilty. She wants me to say something else. She's asking this question in every different way. This is only the work of lawyers who are just trying to waste the time to run their bill up. Let's be honest, chat. Basis of me believing that this did not happen as how, yes, he is convicted, is because I believe Meg Thee Stallion is a liar. She lied initially. She lied on the national news. And I am skeptical that the truth finally came out in court. Based on that, there are alternate theories that I feel and is suggested that that is more a, and again, this is from my perspective. So I'm not sitting here saying the jury did not. Okay, we accept. There's alternate theories other than him shooting her that would even substantiate why, first of all, maybe he's just the worst shot in the world. If he's shooting a chick and shot 5 times, not one of them directly connected, it's hard for me to think. It's a man and a woman. I get it. Meg is like this behemoth of a person, and Tori's this little small dweeby dude, whatever. But it's very interesting, and it doesn't make, again, I'm using common sense. I get it. We're not talking about what the jury did. But it is, in my opinion, that Meg Thee Stallion wasn't shot by Tory and that he should not be in jail.
Okay. You understand that when a jury determines evidence, they use their common sense as well, right?
And I do also agree that two people could think two different things. And yes, 12 thought that. I guess maybe I'm the 13th that thinks opposite.
Okay, and you were not one of the 12 who were charged with the duty of determining what the evidence demonstrated, right?
Right here. This is true. So Shorty pops on here. She works with Team Rock. So all of a sudden, a Quinn Emanuel lawyer that is seen as Team Rock. So that it feels like it's almost like a Rock Nation branch lawyer pops on. Okay, an obvious yes.
Okay. And you mentioned earlier that one of the people you wanted to hear from at the trial was the driver, right?
I did.
Okay. And you understand that the decision was up to Tory's lawyer to decide whether or not he would call the trial, and he chose call the driver at the trial, and he chose not to, right?
That is true too. I also understand. I also am just skeptical why the prosecutor would look to want to put 3 drunk people that night on the stand, but not do their hardest to find and make sure the sober person was on the stand. That kind of was a little bit alarming to me.
Okay. But you also understand that as part of a trial, it's not just the prosecutor who presents evidence, it's also the defendant who has an opportunity to present evidence, right?
Yeah, the burden of the proof is definitely on the prosecutor, but the prosecutor should operate in good faith for the people, which if you're telling me there's 4 drunk people in a car or 3 drunk people in a car, I think the person you should want to talk to more. I think there was severe prosecution. Belt. I gotta give the belt. I gotta get a belt, chat. Belt. It's belt. Jay-Z, this what you paying $10 million per year as a retainer for? For them to have me for 7 hours looking like scrambling through papers, asking me the same question, just like, come on. Is this what you paid for, Hov? Megan, this ain't what you paid for. You paid for this for a YouTuber that went to college for biomathematics to start giving you belt when you're trying to talk this legalese shit because you think you smarter than everybody in the room. Come on. The belt got to be given, man.
You also understand that Mr. Peterson has tried to has filed a habeas corpus petition that was denied, right?
I have seen the news of the denial of. I mean, that was always a Hail Mary anyway.
The testimony about the driver was part of that petition, right?
Yeah, but I believe in the declaration I read from the. Again, I'm not relitigating something. There's a court system.
No, I mean, Mr.
You're arguing
Allen,
at this point my opinion.
I'm sorry, Mr. Allen. I don't mean to be rude, but I know that you do have to leave at 12:30, and I want to get through these questions. Yeah.
Just to be clear, it was about like 12:20 at this point, or 12:15. We went till 5. So there's 5 more hours of this. 5 more hours of this bullshit.
To my next question, though, I do want to check with you. Do you need to be off Zoom at 12:30, or do you need to be off around 12:15 so that you can get out of your house by 12:30?
I could if we could break at 12:20, I could see if maybe I could get some extra time or whatever. But I think we should break at 12:20. I could give you an update on what needs to be done.
Okay, that'd be great. So back to the question I was asking, to be clear, you're saying that you accept the jury's determination, but in all actuality, you don't, because you don't agree with it and you believe that he was wrongfully convicted, right? And you hope that he gets out of prison.
Yeah.
Right, and you hope that somebody somewhere determines that there was insufficient evidence to convict him and that the conviction gets overturned, right?
Yeah, and even if it doesn't, I'll never believe it. To be honest with you.
Even if the conviction does get overturned, you would never believe?
No, I say it doesn't. I mean, again, there's, my my thoughts are based in what I think is once I think you're a liar, I don't really want to hear much from you. I'm gonna keep it 100.
Okay. One last thing about the trial for now, and then we'll get back to it later if need be. But you understand that Miss Pete talked about all of the instances where she gave inconsistent information and she on the stand before the jury, right?
Yeah, I mean, a liar always has a reason to lie. I've never heard.
No, I didn't ask you whether or not she had a reason to lie, but I'm asking you whether or not you are aware that during the criminal trial, she testified as to what she originally told the police and to what the truth was on the stand, right?
Yes.
Okay. And after she testified to all of that, at the end of the day, the jury determined that there was sufficient evidence to convict Mr. Lanes, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what.
Which is to say that the jury believed her, right?
Yeah, well.
Objections to form.
I would imagine they believed her. I don't know if did we do a polling of all these jurors? I mean, they voted overall.
Hold on, Mr. Allen. I think you and I already discussed that the jury came to their decision unanimously.
Now, what she's doing, and this is why I said, I don't know if Rock Nation got to get Alex Spiro up here. I've been said that I'll sit down with Alex Spiro. Fuck a deposition. Me and Alex Spiro could sit down man to man, and we could have a conversation, an interview. We could talk about everything Rock Nation, Tory. We could talk about, I don't care what it is, because he does represent a lot of interest that seems to be like maligned against a lot of things that I feel like maybe my opinions. Don't send the B squad. You see, the B squad is like these people who are used to dealing with dummies. And what she's trying to do is pass one off to me saying, well, Meg basically talked about even when she didn't tell the truth and when she did tell the truth and how she told everything and she testified and Tory still got convicted, right? And I'm like, yes, that did happen. Here's where they thought I was a slow nigga. They're trying to pass this off as, so you have to agree with this. They're saying, so because the jury convicted him, the jury believed everything Meg said. Now, does anybody in the chat or anybody within the listening ears of this content believe that the jury voted on if they believed everything Meg said, or did they vote on, did the prosecutor prove their case enough? I would go with the latter. They voted on the prosecutor's case. They never voted on if they believe Meg 100%. But because her objective is to make Meg seem not as a liar, and this is what I'm saying, this is a Rock Nation tactic. They brought me in a deposition for me to hopefully say, nah, Meg ain't really a liar. No, I said what I said. She said mad things that I could, again, it would be one thing if like this was some secret shit where I'm like, where it's like, are you sure she lied to you and there's no proof? I could pull up public documents of her lying. Why are y'all trying to now have me change my opinion to say that she's not a liar? And Chad, somebody said, "Going pays legal fees for this." Oh, that's always my goal. Hey, any subsequent legal shit, I'm breaking it down on stream because I need to get the bread. So we gonna get the bread out of this shit because Rock Nation. Well, first of all, and I told them this. I said Rock Nation, in my opinion, is bullying Milagro because they're thinking that if they exhaust her finances and she will not be able to put up a proper and adequate defense, that she will at one point fold, succumb to whatever they want her to say, even if it's a complete retraction, an apology, whatever, because they are dealing with, remember I'm telling you, that this deposition probably cost them $20,000. They had 8 lawyers on there. They had 3 of them showing their face. Uno, dos, tres. They all work for Quinn Emanuel, which is Rock Nation and Meg Thee Stallion's law firm. If you think 3 lawyers are getting $300 an hour, you're tripping. This is a top law firm that litigates all type of shit. The standard for law firms like this, especially when they got big clients like Jay-Z and Rock Nation, is probably $1,000 per hour per person when they have to do legal work for that client. This is technically legal work. Trust me, I just seen a bill. I could pull it up on here. It said they did my lawyer sat for a 2.5 hour deposition of, I forgot what it was. I think it was the chick for the dog bite. Some chick claimed my dog bit her. They Tell you how much, so even that Rhonda chick that you don't see on camera that keeps talking, she's billing Milagro. Milagro has to pay that. But you can tell, like, she's one lawyer. She might be $300 an hour. I'm no disrespect to her. These lawyers are top tier lawyers. So we stayed on for 7 hours. $3,000 per lawyer. 7 hours. That's over $20,000. That's my entire point. That's my entire point to y'all. They're legally bullying people. So again, you know why I definitely use this as content? Because, hey, if y'all gonna make this shit, I'll make the legal shit fun. Oh, I could make content out of anything. Oh, you think because we did a boring ass deposition for 7 hours, they ain't got no content? No, we got Bompton. We got that Bompton over here. I'm gonna get that AdSense off of this bitch and we gonna run it up. Matter of fact, Eddie, we might have to turn this into a steak promo. We gonna get the bread off of this shit no matter what. Cause that's how they play with you. When they figure out you a broke boy, you don't got no money, you can't box with them financially, they drown you with bullshit like this. They don't mind paying $20,000 to talk to me about bullshit for 7 hours. You know why? They're dealing with millions. You know they probably made the bet with Milagros. She ain't down to lose $2 million off of this. She probably don't got it. Nasty work.
Right.
Yeah, but the decision that they came to was that Tory's guilty, not that they believe Meg Thee Stallion and everything she said on the stand. Like, was there a verdict on that? We don't know. I'm just saying I don't believe that chick at all.
Yes, it's called a guilty verdict for him having shot her. That is the verdict that they came to, right?
But that's not necessarily mean they agreed with everything of her testimony. There was times she didn't remember things. It doesn't mean they agreed with everything she said. They agree with what the prosecutor alleges, but that's not necessarily means that a guilty verdict doesn't mean. I've seen many imperfect witnesses who get things wrong, maybe not be forthcoming on the stand, and they still get the favorable verdict. The verdict got nothing to do with Meg. The chick's a liar. Like, that's point blank period. I don't know,
You believe that the verdict had nothing to do with the victim's testimony that she was shot by Tory Lanez.
Ma'am.
Objection as to form.
Ma'am, you're cleverly but not cleverly trying to make me say something I'm not saying. So I'll state it on the record unequivocally. The jury believes that Tory shot Meg. The jury, from what I know, did not issue any statement, vote, or any opinion that they believed everything Meg said. Is one of the things Meg said that Tory shot her? Yes. So they believe that. However, the reason why I don't believe Meg in totality is that once I've deemed you as a liar, listen, you know, they say don't throw away the baby with the bathwater. I kind of throw away everything you got to say. I don't want to hear nothing. Don't tell me the sky's blue. I got to go check for myself. You're a liar. So that's my perspective. So if Meg told me today, hey, listen, it's raining outside, I'd be like, give me a second.
Facts.
And I would go outside and go look. And I'd be like, you're right. That's just my opinion.
Mr. Allen.
I could barely hear you.
Can't hear you. Yep, give me a second. Just to be clear, Mr. Allen, this opinion that you hold is one that you don't just personally hold and keep to yourself, right?
I've said this anywhere I've ever been and asked.
Right, you say it basically anywhere and anywhere you've ever been and as loudly and publicly as you can, correct?
Yeah, if I'm speaking my personal opinion, yeah, of course.
Okay, and just so that I'm clear, you were not present on June 12th, 2020 when Miss Pete was shot, right?
No, I wasn't.
You weren't at the party, correct?
No.
You weren't in the car, right? You weren't on the street, correct?
No.
You weren't a witness at all whatsoever, right?
I was not.
So you couldn't actually say that you knew that Tory did not shoot Miss Pete because you weren't present, right?
Yeah, I'm not unequivocally saying that it didn't happen. What I'm saying is
I'm sorry, hold on. Start again because there was something I didn't hear clearly. Go ahead.
I wouldn't say, 100% this is the fact. I'm telling you my personal opinion and my belief. That chick is a liar, and I don't believe liars. So, her story, again, I accept the verdict. I accept all of this stuff. I don't accept a liar. I think she's a liar. She was a liar then. She's a liar now. She's going to be a liar tomorrow. And yeah, that's it.
Do you believe she perjured herself on the stand at the criminal trial? Is that what you
Objection as
said?
to form.
I wouldn't know. That would be something the prosecutors would have to answer. But that, we've rarely seen prosecutors turn back around and go for perjury charges on someone that they needed as a star witness. So I don't know. Again, I can't tell you what the truth is.
I didn't really ask you how frequently prosecutors decide whether or not they're going to charge somebody with perjury. I mean, you've been sitting here telling me your personal opinion about this trial and whether or not Miss Pete is a liar. So my question to you is, do you believe she perjured herself on the stand?
You're asking me if I think she did not tell the truth?
Yeah, that's what perjury means.
Okay, I didn't believe her. Not at all. At all. I believe.
So you believe she perjured herself on the stand?
Now, that's another, I don't know where they got this lawyer over there at Quinn Emanuel, but I did not want to answer to the term perjury because that's actually a legal and a criminal act. The act of perjury is a criminal act. So if I say she perjured herself, it means I fully believe that she could or should be charged with perjury. Me saying she's a liar doesn't mean the same as she perjured herself. So it's a little like they're using very little nuances, but they want to get yes or no declarative statements that they could grab to bring to their bigger trial, which is going to be the Milagro thing, or they got other things that they probably are planning. But you could tell how they're desperately trying. Did she perjure herself? No, I never said that. I said she's a liar. Now, if your definition of lying is equal perjury, sure, but I'm not gonna say she committed perjury, right? I'm not a district attorney, right? That's like me saying you committed murder, but then you get found not guilty of murder. Even if you did the murder, you could sue me. So you see these little things and these nuances that they're trying to get off.
Objection as to form.
Again, I believe she lied before, on the stand, afterwards.
Okay. You understand that perjury is a crime, right?
That's why I keep saying, don't ask me something as if I'm a district attorney. I'm not a district attorney. You could just ask me simply, do I think she lied, right? Because you said it means if she lied. I believe she lied. Whatever is done with the lie is that's not for me to handle.
During the course of the criminal trial, how often did you speak to Mr. Lanes or anybody related to him or associated with his legal team?
I never spoke with his lawyers, but I spoke with Tory a few times. I think we did an interview. I think before he got locked up. Clearly, I wouldn't speak to him much. But there were times that we've gotten on the phone.
When you did speak to him before he was incarcerated during the course of the trial, what did you speak about?
Usually just how he's holding up, music he was planning to be releasing, and that was pretty much it. It was just music and how he's holding up.
Talk about the trial itself?
No.
You didn't talk about the evidence presented?
No. Yeah.
You didn't talk about whether or not he did in fact shoot Megan Thee Stallion?
No. Only one time I've ever talked to Tory about that. And that was right after it happened. And I said, Tory, what happened? And he basically said, hey, I was at a party. She was drunk. They found out I'm smashing both of them. We get in the car. These girls start fighting, and I've said this publicly. The story skips a huge span of time. Even I've always taken it to mean so it skips past anywhere where there's an altercation that leads to a possible shooting, and it jumps to the point where the police are there. Okay. And I've always taken that to mean a few things. I took it to mean, hey, listen, Ak, I'd rock with you. And I'm saying Ak, that's, people call me Ak. I like you, you're cool, but this is not something I probably should tell you, because it could be, you could put this out. And I've always taken it from how he described the story as if he was trying to protect somebody, right? And the reason why I thought that is like, I felt like he was also trying to like do this non-snitching thing, where it's like, yo, if I tell you what happened or who did it, if I tell you Kelsey shot, like, yo, I'm a snitch. And like, this is also after the, me, him, and 6ix9ine were pretty good, acquaintances right before 6ix9ine went through what he went through. And I think their relationship was a little bit strained. So like, I definitely, that was my opinion. I'm like, oh, he's not trying to be the guy who's like, let me tell you what happened. Because he's trying to leave that information out, maybe to protect someone or just not to be a snitch. So I always took it like that. I never questioned him any further on it. But
Mr. Allen,
go ahead.
Mr. Allen, are you suggesting that when you spoke to Mr. Lanes shortly after after the shooting, he was basically telling you in between the lines that Kelsey shot Miss Pete?
No, I'm telling you what I took away from the conversation.
Okay. All right, and you are aware that regardless of what you took away from the conversation, that your takeaway was wrong, right?
Objection.
God damn, you might as well just testify, right?
Semester form.
Again, you're asking for my opinion. If
No, I'm asking for you to ask me answer whether or not you understand that the takeaway that you got from that conversation is in fact wrong.
I don't know if it's wrong. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Okay. Are you aware that Mr. Lanes has publicly posted on Instagram that Kelsey did not shoot Miss Pete?
Tori posted that?
I'm asking you if you're aware.
I know his account posted it. Is it Tori?
Are you aware of somebody else running Mr. Lanes' account on his behalf?
I'd be surprised if Tori runs his account even a quarter of the time. Tory Lanez, like many other artists, when I communicate with them, especially via like say DMs or something like that, it could be any host of people. I'm still talking to a deceased person, King Von. His Instagram messages me all the time because his manager runs that account. I don't know who.
Do you believe, Mr. Allen? Do you believe that somebody who's managing or running Tory Lanez' account for him posted "That's not true" when another person posted online that Kelsey was the shooter?
Objection as to form.
So I actually believe it's one of two things, right? I believe it wasn't either. That's not Tory on the account, or I think this is more the reasonable belief. I think, to keep it real, Kelsey did it. And Tory been trying to protect Kelsey. I don't know why he won't tell on her. I would have been told on her. Facts. That's the facts. You know what I mean? Like, I would have been told. But I think I hope y'all realize I'm the same person on stream as off stream. Bring me in a deposition, a courtroom. You catch me at the corner store, the mall. I'm kind of the same person, Chad. I might speak a little bit, I could code switch a little bit better and use a little bit more, I'll stop using so much colloquial terms and ebonics, so to speak. But I'm the same nigga, man. Tory's not a gang member. He's a guy who's like kind of like quasi street, and I think he's been always like, hey, I gotta not be as forthcoming with this information. And trust me, I listened to all the interviews he had with the police because I wanted to hear him. Like, usually when people get in trouble and feed us to the fire, you just say it, and he was always this vague, and I get it. He's a guy who believes we don't speak about certain things that could be criminal in nature, whatever. And if you ask me, based on, again, you remember you're asking my opinion here. I think if Tory was shooting Meg be dead. We're talking about somebody who's alive and twerking. I think she'd be dead. I think what will happen is she was fighting with her friend over the belt. Yo, Chad, I need a belt. Belt. She alive and twerking. What are we talking about? She's alive and twerking. Yo, they're so pissed. They're so pissed. She alive and twerking. Yo, chat, am I tripping? Yo, they're so mad, chat. They're so mad. She alive and twerking. I don't know what to say, chat. She alive and twerking. Could be criminal in nature, whatever. And if you ask me, based on, again, you remember you're asking my opinion here. I think if Tory was shooting Meg be dead. We're talking about somebody who's alive and twerking. I think she'd be dead. I think what will happen is she was fighting with her friend over the fact that they were in a triangular relationship. Somehow the gun got into play. If Tory's trying to shoot her, I believe she'd be dead. You're not missing 5 shots. I believe. So I believe what that indicates to me also.
Mr. Allen,
say
how exactly do you believe that the firearm just, quote, got into play?
There was a gun in the car. If there's a gun in the car, there's an argument.
Did it just fall out on its own?
Well, somebody took it out. Yeah.
Do you believe that it misfired?
No. I believe someone shot it. I believe Kelsey was trying to shoot. I think Kelsey was trying to put Meg 6 feet under, and Tory slapped the gun out of her hand. Here's the thing. Legally, it's a conundrum for Tory. This is just my thoughts. You're not supposed to touch a firearm, even if you're playing Captain Save or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you're not supposed to Captain Saver handle a firearm at all. So that can't be his legal defense. Also, if he says she was the one doing the shooting, you look like a snitch. In hip hop, we're done with you. You're like, wait, you just came out and just said this girl did the shooting? Hey, what most rappers do.
So, Mr. Allen, just so that I got it straight, you believe this man is doing a 10-year bid for Kelsey when she...
Yo, she tight. She mad. You mad. Hold on, Jack. I got this one.
You hurt children.
How do you hurt children by promoting to be an entrepreneur and a CEO and to do right by?
Looking at a principle.
For example.
Yeah, hold it. You're looking at a principle.
Why you don't want to let him talk? You mad. You mad. Let him talk. You mad. You mad.
Looking at a principle.
Why you don't want to let him talk? You mad. You mad. Why you don't want to let him talk? You mad. You mad. You mad. Where'd you start?
She's the one who shot Megan Thee Stallion.
Ma'am, there's a lot of people in black culture that do that. He comes and emanates from that type of place. Yes, I believe I think it's stupid. Trust me. I think it's stupid. You know what I mean? Like him and Kelsey should have bunk beds if it was going to be that. But I do believe that in reality, he was not as forthcoming. He was not helpful at all in the investigation. And once the investigation targeted him, he thought he was protecting her because he's like, no way they're going to be able to say I did it. And then it was able to be at least proven, at least according to the jury. And that's why he is where he is.
Did he ever tell you that that's what happened?
He never told me. That's the thing. He refused to tell me anything that was in any adverse.
Did anybody who was actually present on the night in question when Miss Pete got shot actually tell you that that's the story?
No, but just like most people online, we have to use our own common sense. We have no video.
Right. What you do is you sit and you.
Yo, she's sassy. She's sassy.
Speculate, right?
Yes, and that's
right. So everything that you just said,
yes,
was a whole lot of speculation, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, because you have no basis in any admissible form to support anything that you just said, right?
Yeah, we're speculating.
Because it's a total wild goose chase, isn't it?
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Hold on. I see she's trying to get church up on me. But come on, shorty. I do this for a living. You got to get out of spirit to come fuck with the Dawn over here. Hold on. Let me start cooking. Chat, should I start cooking? All right. Again, you keep doing this thing where you ask me my opinion based on and I'm telling you things that I've substantiated. Well, 12 people said
You
she's
haven't
guilty.
substantiated, Mr.
She's a
Allen.
liar. I
I'm
don't believe
so
lies.
sorry. You haven't substantiated a single thing that you said.
Okay.
And every time hold on. Every time I have asked you to substantiate it, you have told me, quote, it's just my opinion. So, what I'd like to know is, what is your basis to believe all of the things that you've just said? Rhonda, I don't know why you're saying anything when my question is not done.
Oh,
Because you're asking the same question over and over again.
Okay.
she's sassy. Yo, Rock Nation lawyers are erupting in real time. Rhonda, shut the fuck up. Let me ask this. Whoa, calm it down now.
Would you like to wait until I finished asking the question, or do you want to interrupt me so that this goes longer and longer? Mr. Allen,
That's a different question.
I'll ask whatever question I deem appropriate, Rhonda. Thank you very much.
Object when I deem it appropriate. Thank you very much.
Okay, what I would appreciate if you waited until the question was over before you interpose an objection, so that we can work here in a civil way. But I guess you're not really inclined to do that. Mr. Allen.
Yo, Meg, this is what you done brought into hip hop and paid for, man. This type of fuckery. It's all good. We got bomb tent.
What basis do you have other than speculation, which is what you've said it is, to believe everything that you have just went on about for the past 10 minutes?
Ma'am, I've said there's a lot of the story that is going to be speculative. I've came to my opinion on that, and my opinion will rest there on that. I'm not saying that, again, I hear what happened in court. For me, shit got to make sense. You telling me a man who could overpower a woman in a second, shoots 5 times at her, doesn't try to, again, it don't make sense to me. I'm going what makes sense with me, and also the fact that one person is a liar, that I could make up my opinion. Do I accept what the verdict is? I get it. But again, remember, you're questioning my opinion. We're not having a question on what was proven in court. That's cool. And it's on anyone. If, for example, I think I'm a very nice person, but there's a lot of people who think I'm not. If their opinion is that I'm not a nice person, I could give them 3,000 facts. Hey, I like fed babies in Angola. Nobody cares.
Sir Allen, we're not talking about you.
You're questioning my
Mr. Allen,
opinion.
we're not talking about what people think about you at all.
But you're questioning my opinion.
We're not talking about that at all.
Yes,
my question was straight. I think you've answered it. I think you've answered it. Here's my next question, which is about you. Have you ever lied about anything?
I'm a human. I've definitely told a lie. Yeah.
So should everybody say, he's lied before, therefore I'm throwing the baby out with the bathwater, can't trust a thing this guy says about you?
That's a form.
If they want to, yeah. That's okay. Everyone reserves the right to say, based on your conduct, I don't want to hear a thing out of your mouth. That applies to me on the highest level because I'm a broadcaster. I would love to have a billion ears. But if they said based on your objectionable views, your actions, you told us this and it wasn't true, we don't want to listen to you or we don't believe you, that's on anyone. I completely believe that.
Do you believe that somebody who's a public figure like yourself or Ms. Pete is 100% immune to defamation just because they are in fact a public figure?
No.
Objection is a form.
I want to be respectful of your time, Mr. Allen. You asked me if we could go off the record at 12:20. It is 12:20 now, so that's what I'd like to do.
All right, chat. This is a lot of shit. I kid you not. It's a lot of BS. Yeah, I think we came back with another one. Yeah, it's a lot of shit, chat. And then the next one is like 5 hours. Like, I don't even know if y'all want to watch all that. Is it this? Yeah, this is it. Oh, man.
Here for the record.
I mentioned it, too. Yeah. But other than that, she's kind of like been absent from my orbit. It's hard. But mentioned it, too.
Here for the record, because I think...
Now, 3 hours into this, they asked me about Milagro. 3 hours. Check this out. So this is 3 hours into it.
Okay. Did you have any communications, and apologies if I asked this question already, but did you have any communications with members of his legal team during the course of the trial?
Nah, I don't talk to his lawyers. Never have.
What about members of his family?
I don't know nobody in his family, honestly.
So you've never spoken to Sunstar Peterson?
Well, I've seen from the media that's his father. No.
Okay. Do you know who Caesar McDowell is?
Yeah.
And he's the CEO of UTP, or Unite the People.
Yeah.
Is that what you understand?
Now, by the way, I don't know this nigga, but I'm gonna have to skip past some shit because they put up what they call as documents from a protective order. They seized that nigga's phone, so they took his phone and they have his text messages, and they're gonna put a bunch of his text messages between him and Milagro. Well, maybe I shouldn't say what it is, right? Because they got a bunch of shit, right? Let's just say that. So, let me not mention.
Did you have occasion to speak to him during the course of Mr. Lanes' criminal trial?
No.
In your communications with Mr. Lanes, since he's been incarcerated, did you ever speak about this case, which is to say the case that Miss Pete has brought against Milagro Cooper?
Nah, me and Tori never even spoke about Milagro. That's why I'm so interested why I'm here.
You've never had any conversations with him whatsoever
Definitely got some essential water in there, chat.
about Milagro Cooper?
Hell no.
Why do you say hell no?
Because in the grand scheme of things that he would want my attention for and I would want his attention for, Milagro is like, with all due respect, is just not something we talk about. I don't know their relationship, lack thereof, or how, whatever. I'd find it amusing or odd if Tori actually said, "Hey, listen, Milagro." I'd be like, "Huh?" Only time he's ever talked to me about it was before anything ever happened. This is after quarantine radio. He said he wanted to do a podcast. No, he had mentioned a podcast too. Me, him, and Milagro. Then Joe Budden mentioned it too. Yeah. Yeah, they were trying, chat. I ain't gonna cap with you. Hold on, I'm gonna take this on the screen for a second to make sure I don't go to any document. Nah, I ain't gonna lie, they were pissed off. What is it? Why is that? And again, you don't. That's my cursing thing. When in the history of time? Oh, it discharged a few times. Oh, they asked me. Okay, in some street. Apparently, the car was stopped a little bit into. Here we go. For me to understand, or here we go. Especially one that's lying about something that carries that much gravity. Here we go. Okay. Oh, by the way, you know what they do? So after I say that Meg the Stallion is a liar, mad times, they bring up an article. They got all type of exhibits. Well, if you say Meg is a liar because she told a lie before, and you feel it's cool to call her a liar all the time, have you not lied? So they bring up the LeBron thing, right? Remember I talked about LeBron, and then I was just like, Kai had called me. I think I was in Costa Rica or something, and I was like, "Yo, Kai, listen, man. People want to believe he's a lie. Fuck it, man. I'm gonna go with that because I love LeBron. Hey, listen. Hey, I'm gonna just leave that there. They was trying to get me to go back into LeBron shit, and they were like, "Well, were you telling the truth about LeBron?" I'm like, "Oh, y'all want me to say some shit in this depo to now y'all could be like, oh no, I came back and doubled down on the LeBron." But I diddy bopped out of, well, let me not say diddy bop. I Harlem shaked out of that shit kind of good. But they were attacking the idea of me feeling she's a liar and not ever believing her because I've seen her lie. And they're trying to say to me, well, you've said you have maybe lied. And they use the LeBron thing, which, by the way, again, I'm just not going to go down that road no more, but because I know there's a lot of Braun fans or whatever, but anyway. So they wanted me to make a statement about the Braun thing. And then they kind of come back into the Tory shit again. So not only did I believe she was not shot initially, I believe she was not shot by Tory, because if you're not shot, you're not shot by here we go. All right, let me go back. A person who would lie about the circumstances of
Conclusion of all of the evidence, you maintain the same belief that Tory Lanez did not shoot Megan Thee Stallion.
Yes.
Okay. From the time between when before the criminal trial started and when the criminal trial concluded, did you learn anything new that substantiated your belief that you held previously that Tory Lanez did not shoot Meg and Pete?
The biggest thing I learned was that Meg was a person who would lie about the circumstances of the situation. That was the most important part. Yo, she gets so tight every time I do that, bro. Every time I say that, she's so tight. That was not the assignment. The assignment was go get Akademiks on record in a deposition saying, I never thought that Meg lied. I was just over here over whooping just to get some views. No, I don't think this chick is a credible. I think she's a liar. And I think she's a liar based on what I've seen.
So, I'm a little bit confused by that, Mr. Allen, and I'll tell you why. Because you told me that your belief from Jump Street, that Meg and Pete was not shot by Tory Lanez, was based in the fact that you thought she was a liar. So I guess my question is, how did you determine that she was a liar from Jump Street if one of the new pieces of information that you just told me you gathered between the start and the finish of the trial was that she lied about certain circumstances?
Again, you're jumbling up two times. So when the incident first happened, I was one of the first media outlets to report on it. It was reported that she stepped on glass. So I believe that she was not shot. Okay? So not only did I believe she was not shot initially, I believe she was not shot by Tory, because if you're not shot by anyone, right? Then after he was then arrested for shooting her, right? And with the conclusion of the trial, with everything I saw, what I then came to with my own opinion is that Meg Thee Stallion's a liar. And I don't believe what a liar says, especially one that's lying about something that carries that much gravity. And that's how initially, and I hope this is good for clarification, initially I believe she did not get shot by Tory because initially I didn't believe she got shot. I do believe she got shot by the end. I just don't believe it was by Tory. I believe she's a liar. I think that's clear.
Okay, and the sole basis of your belief...
Belt! Give him belt!
That it wasn't Tory who shot her, it was
get some attention. I'm gonna let this play because I don't think they're gonna bring no exhibits up right now.
Somebody else, some scuffle, is just because you believe Meg and Pete to be a liar.
No, I said that's one of the biggest reasons. There were just multiple other reasons that, again, not everything was or is either testimony or submitted evidence. Some didn't get submitted into evidence or wasn't testified to at the time. And a lot of it is being a reasonable person saying, does this make sense? And I've always said it doesn't make sense. So again, this is how I came to my opinion.
Do you have an understanding as to why certain evidence at whether it's a criminal trial or a civil trial is admitted and other evidence is not?
I do.
Do you have an understanding as to how the various rules or doctrines of evidence work across the jurisdictions in the United States?
I think I have a good understanding.
To form.
I think I have a good understanding.
Okay. So you understand then, if you think you have a good understanding, that one of the reasons why evidence may not be admitted during a trial is due to reliability concerns, right?
I agree.
Okay. So there is often the case that people talk about evidence that was not admitted at trial, and the reason why it was not admitted at trial is because it was unreliable.
I agree.
What are the various, I think the phrase you used was various things, but if I got that wrong, you can correct me. But what are the various things that you believe pointed you to your conclusion that Tory Lanez did not shoot Megan Thee Stallion, other than the statement you've made repeatedly today that you believe Miss Pete is a liar?
That's a good question. So, for me to understand, and again, this is, remember, and I got to remind you with this because I know what you're going to do. You're asking my opinion, not what's court. You're asking my opinion. For me to believe anything, if right now you told me your dog got kidnapped in the Hudson River while you were on a raft, the first thing I'm going to say, how'd you get on a raft in the Hudson River? Like, I'm going to ask some background questions. So for me, with the entire situation, it's more than just what was admissible in court, is does this story make sense? I've heard the story multiple times. I've heard this story in length multiple times. They go to a party. Meg is invited by Kylie Jenner. She's there with her best friend. She's there with a stylist. Tory eventually gets kind of like almost like a third party invitation. He pulls up and they're all drinking. Kelsey gets pretty inebriated to the point she looks like she's almost blacked out. These are all things that are going to matter to me. Maybe not to the jury. It's going to matter to me. So, okay, all that happens. Meg, supposedly, and, I've spoken to some people that supposedly, they were there or they heard this and third. Meg supposedly was getting a little loud. She got into little arguments, little small arguments here or there. But for me, I took from that, this is a sign of intoxication. Tory gets there. He's a small guy. Even though he's a rapper that probably lives a lifestyle that has a higher tolerance. If he's drinking, and we saw them on Instagram Live in a pool, I could see where his tolerance is going to get him inebriated as well. I believe all three are inebriated. I believe that the bodyguard / the driver, Jaquan, I believe he's the only one that's sober. And again, this is why I keep saying my opinion, because my opinion is going to shape everything. Tory's a man who's screwing two women who did not know that they were, first of all, Meg, allegedly, right? And I'm going off just the reports that seemingly Kelsey has confirmed even on this song. Meg was screwing her man behind her back. Typical Houston chick behavior. You get what I'm saying? That's typical. That's their forte. Trust me, don't ask me, I know. But, so that's happening. They find, now fix them eyebrows. Fix them eyebrows when I'm getting in my streamer mode, because now I'm about to give you out a story. I'm going to give you out a story. I usually get paid for this. We usually got about 15, 20K on every platform when we doing this, but now you're going to get it. Rock Nation, you wanted it. I'm going to give y'all Big Act. Now Big Act is coming home. Big Act just dropped in the fucking deposition. And out, Tory's being extra because he had, and again, remember this is my opinion because this is how I'm coming up with all my, everything I'm coming up with in terms of the narrative. Tory had an issue with Kylie Jenner's baby daddy, who is Travis Scott. So he wants to still get a one-up. He's there. There's two women he's had sex with. They don't know. He's also doing a lot with another woman because he's thinking about a rap beef. Maybe he could, get a one-up on this guy. Meg calls it out. They get a little bit into it. From what it's even testified in court, Tory, Meg, and I guess really Meg and Tory asked to leave. Okay? It was seen as almost Meg, but whatever. I'll just say the group is asked to leave, right? Somehow they get the intoxicated Kelsey and they all leave. When they all leave, that is the point where it all kicks off. I've been in those situations where, hey, she didn't know that you were doing this with her. It's going to be World War V in that car. So I've never bought the narrative that, this is just she just found out that she's been screwing her man for months and it's all chill. But until she says to Tory, you're a short guy that doesn't have a really lucrative music career, then he's like, I'm going to shoot you. That car was probably filled with, hey, how long this been going on? Yo, you not ish. And that's how this story, and all this matters in how I'm going to think about this, because I need to figure out a motive. Why the hell would Tory Lanez, who's a man who I've watched him in situations with other men, where maybe a weapon or other violent means was available to him, why he didn't shoot them? Right? I've seen, he's been with many other women. Why he didn't shoot them? What was so special? And, is it the first time he's drank alcohol? Absolutely not. Why he didn't shoot somebody then? So, making it make sense to me in a narrative sense, and for me, I cared a lot more about the narrative than what happened because the only sober person never talked. And we don't have no clear video, and the audio depicts 3 shots, then a pause and 2. What I've always said, these women are fighting each other because that's how it happens. When women find out a guy ain't ish, they don't fight the man. They both fight each other. That's how it go down. Okay? Kelsey got all type of marks on her foot. She never was, which by the way, I think, I always thought Tory's legal team was inept. You know what I mean? Maybe you should have got somebody at Quinn and Emmanuel. Y'all could have probably done a better job. But they should have asked the obvious question: why the heck is this woman have scratches and marks, and she didn't testify even to the fact saying he dragged all of these injuries were from him, even though she did admit to some physicality. So what was never brought up in trial that I always thought, based on the narrative, these women were clearly fighting each other. And by the way, I believe Sean Kelly did mention that. Sean Kelly, or one of the witnesses, did mention that they saw two women fighting, which was never like looked into, but whatever. So two women are fighting, okay? In some street. Apparently the car was stopped before because Meg wanted to get out, but she eventually got back in the car. But eventually the car is stopped. Two women are fighting. It doesn't make sense to me that Tory grabs the gun and shoots at one woman 5 times and misses all 5 shots because at least based on the injuries, right? I do believe she got hit with bullets, but I believe the bullets ricocheted off the pavement. And I don't know if I know he's drunk, but I don't know if he's that bad of a shot. You shoot somebody who couldn't be more than 10 to 20 feet away, you miss 5 times. So what I believe, what most likely would be the issue, who has the most likelihood of wanting to shoot the other woman? Maybe if you put Megan and Kelsey side by side, you'll see that there's a vast difference in size. What I think was happening, Meg was tossing around like a rag doll. And then they were fighting. Again, I'm even open to being wrong on how the gun came into play in terms of who pulled the gun out first because it was in a car. But I wholeheartedly believe that woman pointed the gun at Meg. And what Tory did, Tory tried to wrestle the gun away. It discharged a few times. Clearly didn't shoot her directly, but it did ricochet off the pavement, and obviously some shrapnel hit her. But still, based on that belief of how I believe that went down, to say that, hey, this dude hopped out after we just found out he's been screwing both of us, and he says, dance, bitch, dance, and just shot me. I'm not believing that. Also, here's the thing. When in the history of time, and again, I'm using a lot of common sense things to make up my opinion because things got to make sense. You're telling me that Tory does that, tries to execute you on some road in Hollywood, and your best friend doesn't talk to you after that day or after that incident, y'all fall out. How is that a thing? How is that never explained? So there's so much things that lead me to think, yeah, you'd have to be a really fucked up person. I apologize for my cursing. But so you got to be a really effed up person to watch your friend almost get executed and then sit there and basically don't throw this guy underneath the jail unless maybe there was some culpability that you had. And also, she was granted immunity or use immunity at least. So again, I have to think that whatever story that, obviously the jury did agree with and they convicted him of, it ain't just as black and white as that. And again, we could play the technicality game all day where it's like, did Tory have the gun in his, because even in my argument, he's grabbing a gun from her and the gun goes off. If he grabs the gun, technically he's still guilty of the crime, so he has to act like he never did nothing. But common sense, and he's never told me he ever did nothing or not, but it all points to there was a struggle for a gun, gunshots go off, the woman gets hurt, y'all think y'all could cover it up, Tory's trolling online, she feels offended, and she flips the script on him. This other chick who thought it was going to go away, she and Meg, their relationship fall out. She gets immunity later. She's out. I thought she was trying to protect Tory and protect herself. I don't know what's going on. But one thing I don't believe is the narrative of what Meg, the victim, has been trying to do is say, oh no, this guy just flat out tried to execute me. I don't believe that for 1 second. And I would have probably believed it a little bit more if she was way more forthcoming saying, hey, listen, me and this guy, we had this relationship, this is how these things happen. Her story didn't make sense then. For me, some of her statements were still a bit inconsistent or jumping all over the place because she never addressed the fight on the stand. And then by the end, I was just like, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm throwing this entire thing out. I think this woman is just incapable of telling the truth. And that's where I'm coming up with that. But those are the other factors or the narrative that has led me to believe, hey, Tory didn't do this or Tory's in jail because of not the reason that we believe he should be in jail for, right? Like, and shoot, I've been waiting. If there was ever a video that came out that showcased Tory just aiming at her and trying to shoot this woman, I wouldn't be supporting Tory at all.
Do you think, Mr. Allen, that absent a video, it is impossible to convict somebody of a crime?
No.
Okay.
But the narrative has to make sense.
I got it. I've heard quite a bit of an explanation that you suggest has been grounded in
You mad.
your common sense. But what I didn't hear, and what I'll ask you to provide, is a single piece of any kind of admissible evidence or proof that anything that you just said is true. Do you have it?
Okay, so
Objection up to form.
Shorty sassy, but that's got to give her the belt still. The belt got to be given. So again, you're once again trying to argue legally about my opinion, but I'll give you a little bit of that.
No, Mr. Allen, I'm not trying to argue about your opinion. I'm trying to ask you what the basis for your opinion is. Telling me I have an opinion and I just made it up and therefore it's my opinion and I can have it it's not the case. What I'm asking you is, what's the basis for your opinion? You haven't told me yet.
Okay.
Do you have one?
Okay, so good. So the basis for my opinion, number one, is narrative. I just gave you the narrative. Number two, I do find it rather odd that, and again, based off this theory I have, my theory would have been easily dispelled if they said, oh, we did a GSR test, which is a gunshot residue test, on both Tory and Meg, and voila, she was clean. There was no gun fired in her vicinity, except that was not presented, or I've never seen or heard any evidence of her having been tested and being cleared for, I meant Kelsey, by the way. We're gonna correct that. Any gunshot residue. So that goes exactly to my theory, right? Second of all right, cool. You know, at first we hear this, hey, listen.
You're saying that you would have liked to see a GSR test done, not just on Tory, but on Megan as well?
No, Kelsey. Did I say Megan? I mean Kelsey.
Yes.
Megan. Yes, Megan. No, not Megan. Kelsey. I keep mixing up names. Kelsey Harris. Yes, of course. Because in my theory, they're struggling for the gun. Tory's trying to stop it.
Right. Hold on, back up. In your theory,
yeah,
they're struggling for the gun.
Yes.
That's your theory.
Okay. But the way
but hold on. But your theory hasn't been proven by anybody, has it?
Again, you're asking me.
No, it's just Mr. Allen. It's a yes or no question. Your theory has not been proven
or disproven
to date by anybody.
Or disproven.
Objection as to form.
Or disproven.
Let's try this. Your theory.
One at a time, please.
Your theory has not been proven to be true, correct?
Yes, or disproven.
Okay. And what has been proven to a jury was what Megan told the jury happened and what the jury accepted based on the evidence, which you don't seem to have.
Well,
they considered
I mentioned evidence
hold on. Not done with the question. So let's try this again so that the record's clear.
I feel like you're testifying here because you're not asking questions. You're literally giving me this chunk of a declarative statement, then asking like, is this yes or no? You're basically like testifying.
Mr. Allen,
you couldn't do this in actual court. I know it's a deposition, but you know you couldn't do this in actual court, right?
Would you like to tell me how to conduct my job?
Well, have you done a criminal case?
Yes, I have. But here's what I would like to say to you. I will be able to ask you whatever questions I deem appropriate, and I ask that you respond to them. And I also ask that you not tell me how to do my job. Do you think you can handle that?
Well, if you want to ask the same question over and over, sure. I guess you're wasting our time.
So let's actually try.
I have one thing to say too. Can you pause a little bit so if I want to object, I can put my objection in and then you can speak when you answer one of her questions. Thank you.
Yo, Meg, keep sending them lawyers, man. We gonna send them back on a nice stream embarrassed. Meg, I wasn't even talking about you for the longest. I ain't gonna lie. You look stupid and like a liar after you got your little bird brain attorneys running up here. And by the way, Desiree Perez, I don't know if you want to smoke with me. Actually, I don't really want to smoke with you because you're too powerful. But Shorty, I don't got no problem with you. It seemed like you got some interest on this. Desiree, I'm gonna give you a little olive branch. I think you are upset that, and it's not me doing it, that Grant and them be posting your daughter shit. If you hit me directly and say, act, I will give a truce between me and Rock Nation. We will have no more beef. We won't post about your daughter. I don't give a fuck about that. Okay? So I like to address the real people, but y'all setting the pup over here. She's highly emotional. The eyebrows look like, I don't know what's going on with it. She looked like she in her feelings. Meg, you look like a bigger liar today than you did yesterday. It is what it is. I don't know if this was a good look. I just don't know if it's a good look. By the way, all these lawsuits being filed on behalf of Meg is trying to create, it's a fear-mongering tactic to try to tell bloggers, speak nicely of her or else you're going to get sued. Well, I don't know why you would want to act in the deposition, because I'm going to sit here and argue with you, make content about it, and even if you sue me, I'm going to make content about everything with that, because we got to pay them legal fees, okay? I get it, you get the Three Stooges or whoever the fuck you got at Quinn Emanuel down to just, because I guess you got him on whatever retainer, down to file any type of frivolous suit. But Meg, if you don't realize by now this was a bad look, you're dumber than I thought you were. This was a bad fucking look. But okay, it's all good. Sure.
So, we've established that your theory...
Also, if you're going to get attorneys, get the ones that's not emotional. Get the ones that's not emotional. You got to get the ones that not emotional.
Your narrative that you've just explained, Mr. Allen, has not yet been proven, right?
Yes.
Okay. But there is a story that has been proven, correct?
Objection as to form.
No.
Okay. So you don't believe that there is an explanation of the events that happened on July 12th, 2020 that has been proven to be true?
I know he was found guilty of, but the story, we don't know what happened. I mean,
No.
You could bring me through the details because I don't know what happened. You know?
You'd agree with me that a jury of 12 disagrees with you about whether or not we know what happened that night, right?
Objection as to form.
A jury of 12 agrees that Tory shot her. That's all. Like, there's no agree with. No, that's all they say. That's all they said. I feel like you're putting words in a jury's mouth. A verdict doesn't mean they agree with everything. It's what was alleged. Did he shoot her? Yes, the jury agrees with that. But everything else you're trying to lump in it, no. And for me, it's much larger than that.
Sir Allen, let me understand this correctly. You fundamentally disagree with what the jury determined, right?
Yes. I agree with.
Your explanation that you say supports your disagreement with the jury's determination has not been proven, right?
Okay.
But the jury accepted an explanation of events that occurred that night, which resulted in the jury finding, contrary to you, that Mr. Lanes shot Megan Thee Stallion, correct?
They found that.
Objection as to form.
In their opinion, they did believe that he shot her. Yes.
Okay. I think earlier we talked about an individual by the name of Caesar McDowell. Do you remember me asking you questions about him?
Yeah.
Okay. When is the last time that you spoke to Mr. McDowell?
I've never spoken to this guy.
Have you ever been in communication with him ever?
He's emailed me documents and briefs that I guess they filed on behalf of Tory. And but I'm a press outlet. I get those emails from PR people all the time. But there's no, hey, send me this, or hey, let's talk about this. He sent it to me like he would probably send to Hip Hop DX. He would probably send to Double XL or whoever else. So it's an email that's not responded to.
What exactly did he email you?
Hey, this was filed today in court. PDF.
So did he only send you documents that were filed in court during the criminal trial?
No. Well, I've only known about this guy in the appeal, so I don't know if he was around in the criminal trial. So in them putting up their, briefs in the appellate stage, they have said, "Hey, listen, we filed this because I used to be one of the content creators who would try to get these documents to fully break down, rather than going off what either Variety said or TMZ. I wanted to read the whole thing." I don't know if he watches me or whatever, but he would just send me the thing that I could just have the document on hand, which I appreciated.
When is the last time that you received an email communication from Mr. McDowell?
I believe probably it was around the time of that press conference. I think we had got like some either a declaration and there was another filing that was associated with the declaration of Quan, I believe. But yeah, I had gotten those documents.
Lena, can we please mark as Exhibit 120?
Okay, I can't show this, so that's gonna have the that's gonna have what do you call it again? The thing that's in the protective order. Hold on, I want to show y'all this. This is it. Oh yeah, hold on. Shit. I want to show. I just skipped 3 hours, so there's like 3 hours. But like, y'all want to see? Hold on. I'm gonna show you when they leak the email. Watch this. Yo, y'all gotta see my face. Like, this is what I realized. I'm like, oh, this the B team.
Oh, it's movie time.
Oh, it's movie time. Here we go. Finally said he never spent $1, and they start asking me about Drake again. Oh, they start asking me about Drake. Oh, you want to hear what they start asking about Drake and Grand Wizard, saying if Drake ever spent money, like if Drake paying Grand Wizard. Like, this is some like day free bullshit, bro. Here we go.
Ever said that Tory is the one who shot Megan publicly?
Have I said that? To the best of my knowledge, no. But in trying to rationalize, and I've kind of hypothesized what may have happened, I probably have, honestly. But
let's mark as Exhibit. I'm sorry, Mr. Allen.
Hold on. Go ahead.
Okay. Let's mark as Exhibit 138, tab number 22A. Elena, please.
Okay. Well, I gotta take some screens.
And if there's a transcript, we'll mark it as 139.
Oh, I gotta take some screens.
There it is.
Okay. Yeah.
And while we're waiting for that, Mr. Allen, I did have a couple more questions about the Grand Wizard chat account. I think this morning you told me that you don't know the individual who runs that account. Is that what you said this morning?
I think you've also taken that out of context. Knowing meaning, have I spoke to him? Yes. Do I know his government name, and have I met him? No.
Okay. And do you know whether or not the person who runs the Grand Wizard chat account has ever been associated with an account called OVO Grand $?
Called what? OVO Grand. Yo, Grand, you have an account called OVO Grand?
OVO Grand $?
I have no knowledge of that.
Okay. What about OVO Grand?
I think that's a nickname of his. I don't know if that's a real account.
Do you believe it's a nickname of the individual who runs the Grand Wizard chat account?
Yeah.
Why do you believe that that's a nickname for him?
Because everybody who likes Drake people just usually colloquially call OVO, whatever your name is. I'm pretty sure they call me OVO Akademiks. You know, everyone.
Because OVO is Drake's record label, right?
Yes, it's Drake's record label.
Okay. Have you ever
Weirdo.
Do you know whether or not the individual who runs the Grand Wizard chat
Embarrassing.
account has ever been associated with the handle Certified Lover Grand?
Yo, Grand, you got an account called Certified Lover Grand? Certified Lover Grand is crazy. That is kind of fire still. No, so no to both of those last questions, but that's not even been a nickname of it. I don't know where that would be from.
Are you aware of whether or not the individual who runs the Grand Wizard chat handle, whether or not his Instagram account was hacked earlier this year?
I believe he was hacked, yeah.
Do you know any information about what was hacked?
I would guess an Instagram account.
Do you know that his DMs were leaked?
I know things were leaked. I'm not too sure if those things were actually true.
And based on public reporting, did it come to your? Did it come into your purview that what was leaked appeared to be DMs between the person who runs that account and Drake?
Yeah, it appeared to be that. Yeah.
Did you ever talk to Drake about this information about the hack?
Yeah.
Did he give you any indication whether or not there was truth to him communicating with the individual who runs the Grand Wizard chat account?
Drake loves Grand, and Grand loves Drake. So Drake has significant influence with.
I'm sorry, you phased off a little bit there.
I said
Continue.
Drake loves Grand. Grand loves Drake. Drake has significant influence on social media, and I think he used his influence to make sure his account was okay. But we never had conversation about any of the content that was supposedly either put out, whether that was true or not.
Did Drake ever tell you one way or another if he paid to help secure Grand Wizard's account?
I believe he said he did, but he was trolling. He said he was trolling later. No,
I'm sorry.
No. Actually,
he said he was.
No. So he said, I'll get a story. Me and him were trying to get back Grand's account. We had a race on who would do it first.
That's
Drake
fact.
won. And then someone told me, hey, Drake paid to get it back. And Drake actually hit me up to say he didn't. So actually he defiantly said he never spent $1 and the account was restored without any payment made. So that was good.
But you were also making efforts to help restore the account for the Grand Wizard, the person who runs the Grand Wizard account.
He's a very good guy.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we could pull up the exhibit, Elena.
It's Grandy. It's a really good guy. You know?
Exhibit 138.
Not this where they fuck up.
Okay, that was the video. That was 22A. So could you give me a tab number?
Yeah. Tab 22A, please.
Not this where they fuck up.
That's 22A that I just had up.
No, it was not. 138.
Okay, that was.
Oh. So this is the first fuck up they did. Here we go. You know I'm here for it. And this is why they brought Drake name up. So they got this inner Slack convo with all the Rock Nation lawyers. And this is where they fuck up. They're like, we're going to bring up an exhibit. So, all right, let me see the exhibit. Now, the only reason I'm showing this is because it's not an exhibit. This is actually their Slack where the Rock Nation lawyers are talking about Drake and OVO. Here we go. So she shares a screen. Bang! Here we go. So FYI, so no one wastes their time, this video is not useful for deposition, just funny. I don't know what video this is. And then Julian says, LOL, LOL. Atlanta says, I was dropping this in case useful later. Damn, Atlanta, you was my girl. Said, this is DJ Akademiks' testimony about the DNA tweet. Okay. And then Julian says, OVO. Why you spell OVO like that? What? Yo, y'all plotting on me and the boy? Yo, what's good with y'all?
That's not it, Atlanta.
You hear me? you hear me?
Oh, it's movie time.
Oh, it's movie time. Oh, the lawyers are fucking up.
Oh, it's movie time.
Wait.
Oh, it's movie time. Oh, it's movie time.
Oh, it's movie time. Thank you. Y'all came for info from me, and y'all wanted info from me, but y'all gave info to me. Not a problem. Oh, it's movie time. Look at Joy. Got more than I thought we would on that.
That's not it, Atlanta.
I thought we were going with 22A.
No, Atlanta, please take that down.
Oh, please take it down. Please take it down.
Oh, it's movie time.
Oh, come on.
Okay.
Look at my face. Think that was for your eyes only, huh? I think that was for your eyes only. I do think it was. Y'all can't make a nigga who's, you know what I mean? I'm hours off that, that essential water. You know? Oh, that essential. Yeah. Yeah. Take that down. 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 No, take that down right now. Take it down right now. Take that shit down. You heard what I said? I think that was for your eyes only.
What exhibit will we like?
That's not it, Atlanta.
I thought we were going with 22A.
No, Atlanta, please take that down.
Okay.
Think that was for your eyes only, huh? Yo, chat, you know when you got a backdoor the back door? Chat, one in the chat if you've ever had to install a backdoor for the back door. Oh, man. Oh, you got a backdoor the back door. You got a backdoor the back door. It's all good. It's all good. Here we go. Now, she gets mad at Elena.
What exhibit will we like?
Exhibit 138.
Hilarious.
Okay, that was the video. That was 22A.
That wasn't the video, girl. You showed your DMs with the other lawyers.
So could you give me a tab number?
Yeah. Tab 22A, please.
Let's try this.
That's 22A that I just had up.
No, it was not.
Do not fire the black girl, please. I like her. I like her. Even though you campaign against me right now, Elena, I know you're doing it for your job. You're not one of these serpents. Okay? It's okay, girl. Oh, look at her face. Oh, damn. Nah, she ain't gonna lose her job. She ain't gonna lose her job. Nah, she panicking.
I don't want to put it back up, but that's what I have is 22A.
She panicking.
Okay, please pull 22A.
Hey.
I'll do it.
Hey, Quinn Emanuel, if y'all fire her, I'm claiming y'all racist. Y'all racist. Got backdoor to backdoor.
Hold on one second. I gotta open the video.
And I feel bad. She feel. Oh, Elena, we rock with you. Don't let it do you like that. Look at me. I'm thinking I might have to hire her, man. Look at this little smirk on my face. Oh, no. You know what I was saying on my face? I don't know if y'all caught it. About a minute ago, you gonna see me. I looked up, timestamped that bitch. I'm like, caught y'all lacking. That's all I need. You want to see when I timestamped it, chat? You want to see when I timestamped it? Here the timestamp. You see that? Is that typing right there?
That's 22A that I just had up.
Here we go.
No, it was not.
Look at me. Timestamp that bitch. Yeah, I got y'all. Embarrassing. I got y'all. Let's just make a note. That was a timestamp right there.
Oh, it's movie time.
It's movie time. Yeah, she panicking. Lacking. Caught you lacking on that one. I'm sorry. Just watch me. I'm like,
I want to put it back up, but that's what I have is 22A.
look at me. Oh, it's movie time.
Okay, please pull 22A. I'll do it.
Ooh, the lawyer man, or the main lawyer, because they're both lawyers. I'll do it. All right, let's hear her do it. She tight. She's so tight. Look at her.
Hold on one second. I gotta open the video.
Oh, it's movie time.
Okay.
We got content. Okay. I'll sit here with y'all. Oh, okay. Let me take it off for a second. Okay. I'm not going to show you what the video they were trying to play. Even though this is a publicly available video, I ain't going to lie. It was an Instagram live or something. But you going to fuck up. Because we can't hear the audio.
I'm just pausing it for a second because I want to test if you can actually hear it, Mr. Allen.
No audio.
No audio? You can't hear it?
No audio.
Gavin, can you please share? Yes. Thank you.
Oh, here we go. We got bomb tent. There we go. This is all them fucking exhibits. Okay. Let's keep it going. Bring up the chat. Oh.
Oh, it's movie time.
Did it again. It's movie time. OVO just making sure you're sharing the right screen. She panicking up here again because she's like, bitch, you're doing the same thing I did. You know, I'm up here. You see me with the head tilted to the side? That's my dog's Pluto favorite thing when he's trying to understand what the fuck going on. What the hell? When Pluto looking to see what the fuck going on, I don't know why he do this. He tilt his head like this. So you see me go like this? I'm like my dog. I'm tilted to say, what the fuck is going on? Oh, this is how. Oh, this is the. Oh, y'all brought me into the group chat. Y'all brought me into the group chat.
Oh, it's movie time.
Okay.
What would it be?
It would be 22A.
Look at her face. Oh my God, we're doing it again.
22A.
Marie, you're still sharing your screen. I'm sorry.
It's movie time, man. Okay. I'm going to go back a little bit. Chat, we got to edit all this up. I'm going to take out anything that is anything that's quote unquote protected, even though it's a civil case, but fine. Like, you know what I mean? I respect the court. I want to take out anything that is protected, which is going to be exhibits or whatever the case is. But my conversation with them, there is going to be a transcript that's leaked. There was video orders given to the defendant, which is Milagro's lawyer, and also the plaintiff, which is Rock Nation and Megan Peet, their attorneys, Quinn Emanuel. So they have videos of this. Here's the thing. I got nothing to gain. You know how they served me this? They served me this and they gave me $101. I don't know why they gave me money, because I asked the process server, because I was out there washing the Maybach. And I said, why y'all give me money with the service letter? I've gotten served before. I've never gotten money. They said this is a witness fee. And I'm like, oh, they think I'm a cheap hoe. $100? I said, no, we got content. So I really did this because I said, you know what? I needed some good content, and yes, I'm gonna stretch this motherfucker. Okay, I'm sorry to say. So again, Rock Nation, hopefully I got what y'all want. Malaga, hopefully you got what you want. But Big Ad got what he wanted, and we got content. Fuck it. Let's see what else they got going. Standard of defamation, but yeah, that is definitely problematic. All right, I'm gonna take it off because I'm gonna skip. It's already off. Sorry. In person.
Did you speak to Mr. Baez?
They asked me if I've talked to every Tory lawyer. I'm like, I don't talk to these niggas.
What you're talking about, where you say that sometimes you don't even have to wait for the label to come to you because there's an editorial element of it.
Yeah.
Do you recall that happening around the time of Mr. Lanez's trial?
Oh, okay. I'll go to this. Like, I actually, and I listened to a lot of his music. I didn't take that into my. They were trying to see if Tory was paying me for music release. Well, I told him Tory never paid me to put out nothing against Meg. So they're like, did Tory pay you for music releases? I'm like, I get paid for all the music releases most of the times. But specifically with Tory, he didn't really pay me for music because we're already posting his music because it was trending. So I'll explain that. And I don't care if y'all see it. Here's this, and I'm not even knowing who it's from. I've definitely gotten texts with documents that I didn't know who it's from pertaining to this case. That's absolutely true. So, but when you use the word met, that's why I said met in person. No, if you're going to consider it a meeting, that someone says, hey, do you want this document? I am so-and-so. Here's the document. I guess we're going to have a lot of gray area there.
Okay. Do you know does the name Ed Welburn sound familiar to you?
Do you have a stage name? Like, these names you mentioned, I've never heard a day in my life. If I tell
This person is an attorney, so I don't
no.
think he goes by a stage name.
No, never heard of him.
Have you ever communicated with anybody who works in the media that is associated with or employed by any of Tory's lawyers?
I wouldn't know who they associate with or employ.
Okay. Have you ever communicated with any public relations firms or crisis communications firms about Tory or Miss Pete?
Not from my knowledge.
We talked earlier about whether or not Mr. McDowell ever paid you any money and whether he offered you any money. Do you remember me asking you about that?
Yeah, I do.
Have you ever asked Mr. McDowell to pay you money for any reason?
That would be impossible if I've never had a conversation with him.
Okay. Has anyone from Tory's team ever offered you any money for any reason?
The only time me and Tory's team have ever discussed anything is the promotion of music, which usually was always facilitated by, he had a label called Create at that point. So it'd be like, hey, listen, we're doing a campaign. Yo, I need, we're trying to go big this week. I'm dropping a music video, Hey, Create is going to take over. That's how, and I'm glad you asked those foundational questions earlier, because that's how I work with pretty much even any artist. It's be like, hey, listen, I'll deal with your label. Your label is going to be the people who are going to send over music. Hey, here's this music. Could we get it posted that everybody's posting at the same time? Cool. But in terms of information, and I don't know if that's what you were asking, maybe in an indirect way. No, absolutely. Never talked to Caesar McDowell. Torier's team wouldn't offer, or they wouldn't even dare to be like, hey, listen, here's this for your opinion. And no, Caesar's not paid me to post anything.
When did you have these communications with Tory's team about promoting his music?
Throughout his whole music career. So Tory used to be an Interscope artist. I think maybe before 2020. I used to communicate with them. He worked with Create. I communicated with them. I communicate with labels pertaining to the release of music. Usually if I ever communicate with
are there specific periods of time that stick out in your mind where you would have had a communication about promoting his music and then being paid for the promotion of that music?
All throughout his career.
So at any given moment in time throughout his career, you would have been paid.
If Tory's dropped an album,
music.
sorry for cutting you off, but if Tory has dropped an album, since I want to say about 2016, I was probably somehow contacted by a digital person on his record label that would say, hey, we want your help in promoting Tory's records, aka music, and we would coordinate that way. As I said, this is the same way that would exist with any other artist that's rolling out music.
Were you promoting any of Tory's music during the criminal trial?
If he dropped an album, probably did.
Do you recall when the album Cap was dropped?
The album, what's it called?
Cap?
Cap?
Mm-hmm.
I actually...
Or the song Cap?
I know Tory's music really well, and that album title even seems to evade me. I've been bumping a lot of Tory recently, and that, trust me, I go through his albums, I've never heard of that album. I've been bumping that Tory recently, man. Don't get mad at me. I'm bumping that new shit. I'm bumping the hot shit. Tory been really kicking it. He been doing his thing. I just didn't know about that title. They tell me Tory dropped an album called Cap. I gotta go find it. I don't know about it. That's what Rock Nation lawyers are trying to tell me. That's what Meg the Stallion lawyer trying to tell me. I don't know about that. Yo, I gotta hit up Tory's people. I need that album. I need it. Because I've been listening to Playboy. Playboy's fire. I always like the Chicks tape. I always like, I always like his albums. But I never heard about this one. So Rock Nation or Meg's lawyers have a secret Tory album that I don't know about because they're asking me, and I don't know about it. I'm sorry. It's a new one.
Do you remember a music video being released right before the trial happened by Tory Lanez?
Not specifically.
Do you ever remember viewing a music video by Mr. Lanez in which he was butchering a horse's leg?
I did when
Objection as to form.
I did, but when Rock Nation put it together in a great PowerPoint. Like I actually, and I listened to a lot of his music. I didn't take that into mind when I saw it. So I probably saw the video, never took that particular scene in until good old Rock Nation said, hey, that's what he was doing. Because I've never seen a horse leg in a butcher shop.
Do you know whether that video was released before the trial?
I wouldn't know. I felt like I got that when I was watching and I'm saying this Rock Nation because I kind of like lump you guys being the representatives for both Rock Nation and Miss Pete. I think Alex Spiro put together a nice little PowerPoint where he was detailing how Tory was antagonistic, and I think that was one of the first. I'm like, oh wow, oh wait, Tory did that? That's wild. So I didn't put it to mind before then, but did I see the video? Maybe I did see the video. I didn't. That scene never stuck out as, hey, this is a horse's leg he's butchering.
You said that you couldn't recall if there was music that was released around the time of the trial, but if there was, you would have promoted it. Do I have that about right?
Yeah.
Okay, and if you were promoting it around the time of the trial, you would have received compensation for that?
So not necessarily. And this goes back, now I'm happy you asked me these foundational questions because I could go back on them. What happens is when an artist is already in the news, like for example, if Tory is on trial and he drops a music video that becomes not only just music that's just promotional, it becomes newsworthy and something that editorially we could post, we're probably going to post it before a music team comes to us to try to have us post it. Because if we're like, hey, he's taking shots at so-and-so and so, we're not going to be like, hey, we're not posting until they come to us with a budget. We're going to post it most likely already just for the engagement. Hey, Tory's talking crazy. So there, we know we definitely promote his music. We post Tory Lanez at a really increased frequency. I'll tell you this, the reasons why we post him now is because our audience, they take a liking to Tory. They believe in the free Tory movement. When I post Tory, he's going to get a thousand comments. People are going to be saying, we like this guy and we want him out. So Many
I
times,
have a memory of what you're talking about, where you say that sometimes you don't even have to wait for the label to come to you because there's an editorial element of it.
Yeah.
Do you recall that happening around the time of Mr. Lanes' trial, that you were posting?
oh yeah, of
content
course,
like that?
of course, yeah. And he's a smart guy, so I think he knew were waiting for what he had to say, and if he said it in music in a clever way, or in a way that we were attributing to it, even like whether it's as a blogger, as a fan, we were posting it. Yeah.
Have you ever asked Tory or any members of his team outside the context of his label to pay you for any reason whatsoever?
Unless, no. Well,
So if I went to your banks and I subpoenaed records from your banks or any other financial institution in which you exchange money with other individuals, I won't see anybody with the last name Peterson or anybody associated with Tory on those records, right?
there's never been a Peterson in my bank account. There's never been a Peterson in my bank account. I've never gotten money from Tory. Again, it becomes a gray area because Tory was independent for a while. He was signed to an independent label, and he had music people controlling the budget that might be associated with him, but they're paying for music. So if the idea is, hey, did he pay? Has Tory, like, again, I've said for every artist, has every artist in some way, shape, or form paid for the promotion of their music? Yes. Now, if we're talking about, so I wouldn't unequivocally say he's never paid for music to go up. What I will say, he's never paid for an opinion, and he definitely hasn't paid for, hey, post this information to, I don't know, anything non-music related. Everything we do with Tory, any business we're doing is music. We're in the business of music. This other stuff is for what we call shits and giggles. Like we're gonna cry one day with Megan and laugh at her another day. We cry one day with Tory, we laugh at him another day. That's the entertainment that keeps people going from moment to moment. But every Friday, that's music day, and we love those days. They don't like when I tell the truth.
Has Ray ever offered to pay you any financial compensation in exchange for posting any information favorable to Tory?
No.
Have you ever asked Ray to pay you any sort of compensation, whether it's money, something over Zelle, whether it's any other thing for value, cryptocurrency, something like that?
Ray's a music guy. So usually we have done business, actually a lot of business that has nothing to do with Tory, but it's always been business that is about music. Hey, there's this guy who wants this look. Could we help with him? Hey, could we consult? Yeah, me and him have done business, not the business of post this Tory information.
Okay. I think you said that you met Miss Cooper for the first time
when I did the podcast with her in Miami. Yes.
I didn't hear you. I didn't hear the answer.
Hold on. He said when he did the podcast with her. All right. So let's back up so we have a clear record and the court reporter can get both of what we're saying. And I'll just remind you, Mr. Allen, I know sometimes I pause, but just wait until I finish the question so that she gets both of us correctly. When did you first meet Miss Cooper? Please remind me.
The time we did the podcast.
When was that approximately?
I couldn't tell you at this point.
Was it in December 2022, 2021?
All right. So I'm going to skip past this. I'm going to take it off screen, and I'll tell you what happens. They're going to show DM messages between me and Milagro where we were setting up that interview. And because that's supposedly evidence, I'm just not going to show you guys. All right. Chat, I don't want to drag it too much. I'm trying to see if there's any. Oh, you want to see when I posted in the deposition? Gangsta.
Sort of messaging.
Gangsta, nigga.
Reporting on what she.
Gangsta. Here we go. Well, I said spies. Wait, hold on. Here we go. You ready?
try and refrain from that during the course of the day. This morning, Mr. Allen, I asked you whether or not you had any phone in front of you or any application open on your computer that would facilitate any sort of messaging. Application open on your computer that would facilitate any sort of messaging.
Yes.
And I asked you to try and refrain from that during the course of the deposition.
Yes.
Okay. Do you believe that posting on social media is a form of messaging?
Not mentioning an individual.
Okay. Elena, can we mark as Exhibit 120?
Okay, so they showed this. One of the. Here we go.
You posted on your Instagram account during the course of this deposition?
Yeah, definitely during the break. Yes.
Okay.
During the break.
Which break was that?
One of the breaks or lunch or one of the times.
Okay. And you wrote, this deposition, Meg the Stallion got me in asking me about Tory, Drake, and Nicki Minaj more than their client, Meg the Stallion. And I think that's 3 laughing, crying emoji faces, right?
Yes, yes, indeed.
Okay. And then you quote as if you're saying something I said, right?
I didn't attribute it to you, but I did put things in quotation.
Right, but you put it in quotations to suggest as if these are the questions you're being asked, right?
I didn't. You're putting words in my mouth at that point.
Okay, so then why don't you tell me what the purpose of you putting quotes in your Instagram account around these phrases was?
Yeah, because I wanted people to understand the subject matter I was being questioned on. Is Drake paying you? Is Nicki paying blogs? Who is this Grand Wizard guy? And is Tory sending you money on Cash App? Actually, I meant to put a couple more things for I don't know what you out think.
So just so that I get it clear, we had a whole conversation this morning about how there are aspects of this deposition that may be kept confidential, and you couldn't even wait until the deposition was over before you started posting about it on social media?
Well, I mean, y'all even invite me to a deposition.
It's a yes or no question.
Oh, sure. Yeah, sure.
Okay. And so what you wrote here was, quote, you sure Drake ain't paying you.
Wait,
right? That's the first thing?
By the way, let me pause because, again, she's trying to overtalk me like she does frequently. The conversation we had at the beginning, and I could go to it. It's in another video. We had it probably at 10:30 in the morning. This is around like probably 3:30, so 5 hours later. The conversation we had, she said, I'm going to show you things that are privied and they're actually they're stipulated to a court order of protection. Do you know what that means? I said, I do know what that means. She says, some of these things, I will let you know what they are. These things are going to be protected. They should not, and the court requires them not to be shared on social media. By the way, I could tell you now, I haven't shown none of that on here. Okay? She then says, hey, I know you're at your place of residence. This is not my first deposition. I've been to others before. She says, are you alone? I say, I'm alone. She said, do you have your phone in front of you? At the moment, I did not have my phone in front of me. I said, no. She then says, do you have any recording device or blah, blah, blah that's in the room? I said, of course I do. Everything I do in my house is recorded. I have a surveillance camera up there. I have 2 cameras there. They record everything that happens in here. Really for my safety. She said, do you plan to publish anything that will be, and I could go back to that conversation. Do you plan to publish anything that is going to be in this deposition? I said, I absolutely will be speaking about this online because I am a public person and my life is of public interest. I'll be speaking about everything you guys are asking, except the things you guys say in terms of the protected, like I'm not going to tell you what messages or whatever it was, but it was very clear. I'm finna go talk about y'all asses. It is what it is. It is what it is. So they're confronting me about this, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? And by the way, I'm staying here in saying that I don't believe I violated any rules because after being told about what is under a protective order, and this by the way, the what do you call it again? This deposition is not under a protective order. Okay, I want to be very clear. This deposition is not under protective order. There's certain things that are exchanged between parties in discovery, like text messages. That is. There will be a public viewing of the, what the person typed. There'll be a public viewing of the transcript. It's all good. I'm just not going to let people read it. I will let people see it. And by the way, they got the video too. Here's the thing. If I look like an asshole and I look like I was a liar, you know what they would do? Anonymously leak the video. They would leak the video like, look, this y'all hero, right? This is Akademiks. He talk all big and bad online. Look at him copping it. That's what they would do. How do you think all these deposition videos come out? Yeah. Because they feel, well, first of all, most of them like the Wayne shit, they be thinking it's funny. But if you're ever copping it, they're going to put it out or leak it of you copping it. You don't gotta try to leak nothing on me. Big act, I want to go, I'll do it on live if I could. So anyway, can I use my phone on a break?
You're allowed to use your phone on a break. There's nothing prohibiting it, but since you did it, I'm going to ask you about it.
Oh, you can.
So you wrote, quote, "You sure Drake."
Okay, so they said you could use your phone on a break, which I'm like, all right, bet. So what's the fucking problem? We took a break. I said I didn't have a phone immediately in front of me while you're being questioned. Y'all took mad breaks because y'all got weak bladders and y'all hungry hippos, and y'all all want to take number twos and do whatever the fuck y'all want to do to try to get Big Ack in whatever position you want to get him into. Cool. When y'all say let's take 20 minutes, I'm on my phone sparking it.
Ain't pay you, right?
That was a hilarious question, or even line of questioning.
Right. And then you sure Nikki ain't paying blogs, right?
Hilarious line of questioning as well.
Do you recall me asking you whether or not Nicki Minaj was paying bloggers?
You asked if when I told you that Rock Nation paid for their artists, you said like other top artists, and you mentioned two, Drake and Nicki. And I said the majority of the industry have done this, but the two that you've named have not, from my perspective. I've never seen it. And trust me, I'm not cool with Nicki. I would love to say she did.
To be clear, Mr. Allen, I asked about any payments you had received, right?
I'm a blogger. Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Not about blogs, generally speaking, right?
Well, in the context of posted.
I asked about you, right, Mr. Allen?
Yes, and we have a blog.
Okay. And then the next question was, who is Grand Wizard, right? And you told me under oath that you didn't know who ran that account, correct?
Yeah, I didn't.
Okay. And then the last one is, did Tori send you bread on Cash App? And that's the last question you listed as something I said, right?
I didn't listen to something you said, and I was a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but the idea that Mr. Peterson would show up in my bank records if you subpoenaed it, yeah, have a good try at that one.
Do you recall me ever using the words Cash App today?
No. However,
okay. Just wanted to clear that up. All right, we can move on.
Sassy. I love it. I love it. Oh man, hold on. Let me see.
Did Miss Cooper ever tell you that she had spoken to Tori about what happened on the night of July 12th, 2020?
No.
Do you know who King Noir is?
Who? Say it.
King Noir.
Who the fuck are these people? Doesn't bring a bell.
Spell that, counsel?
Sorry, Noir King. NOIR KING.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Okay. What about Amiel Holland Briggs?
Doesn't ring a bell. Are these names like stage names?
It's an individual's name.
Okay.
Amiel Holland Briggs is an individual's name. You don't recognize it?
No.
Okay. I'll represent to you that Mr. Holland Briggs was a content moderator for Miss Cooper. Were you aware that she had a content moderator?
Oh, okay. I'm gonna skip past this because they revealed something that the dude said. She never told me if it's under a protective order, so, but I don't care to put that out. Let's see.
It was public, right?
Yeah, she just keep arguing with me, bro.
Both took.
I think she want to go out with me on a date. She just gotta we gotta get her to a hairstylist, and them eyebrows we gotta do something with. You feel what I'm saying? and then like we got to get some more light in the room she's at. And we gotta do her up a little bit better. You feel me? And it might be a touch of Ozempic. You feel me? Like, but it's all good. You know what I mean? We both can't be big in this relationship. That's all I always say. But I don't know what she got going on, bro. But like, I like the fact that she loved to argue with me. You feel me?
Took to social media to talk about the DNA report. Do you recall that?
Oh, so then they asked me who gave me what was this? I don't know what she did on that day. I did go to social media at a point. I don't know what particular day.
Okay.
And I'll save you from that. So she gets upset when she says, "Who gave you the info about the DNA that you tweeted about Tory Lane's DNA not being found?" By the way, the real information was that it was inconclusive. Who gave you that information? Honestly, and you chat, you know, I love y'all. Like, I told them I was standing on business, so I said I would not tell them. I'll tell y'all. I really didn't remember. She claimed I remembered, and I was like, "How you know I remembered?" And she was like, "I'm gonna talk to the judge. I'm gonna force the judge. I'm gonna have the judge force you to reveal." And that's because at first I said, "Well, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I run a media company, and under the vague of journalism, I'm gonna protect my sources." And they're like, "Well, we're gonna try to force you to tell it." And then I was like, "Well, I'll tell you anyway now. I don't remember who it was. It was like, it was like some random anonymous person. I don't know. I don't remember who told me that. I don't know. I don't know about that." But she was really on it. So she took a 30-minute break to go talk to the judge. I was like, okay. And yeah, it's a couple more things, but we could wrap it here, chat. Chat, I'm gonna edit all this down, take out all the things that was not meant to be shown. There are phone numbers and other things that I'm glad that even though me skipping around, we've avoided. But yeah, there was a bunch of stuff that
I'm happy for Meg the Stallion for finding someone who's taller than her. I'm not gonna lie. I'd never understood why Meg the Stallion messed with rappers and why she never just messed with NBA players, like relationship wise. They're all tall. They're richer than rappers. But the thing is, Meg the Stallion, even though people don't like her, she's probably really, really rich now. Like, probably up like making like 30 plus a year. Even though she's not like her being with Klay Thompson, feel me? I'm not surprised. It's a good thing. We mess with Klay, even though he left the Warriors. She went the monkey. What is Klay Thompson? Is he black? Is he mixed? I don't know what Klay Thompson is. Klay Thompson reminds me of Travis Kelce when he used to be with the black girl. So, amen. Wish the best for them. Everything goes well. No hate. Free Tory. And yeah, it's your boy Big Act News. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I am out.